Radhi and I have been on a crazy adventure in the last 7 years. We've moved country, we've moved state, we've moved apartments, we've moved homes. And the question is, how has our relationship changed? How has it been impacted by all of this? And what have we learned along the way? I think it's really interesting going back to that first question we answered, because I feel like I've stayed so much the same.
Yeah.
I look at how it's affected me as being very similar, in the sense that I've just kept my head down, I've kept working, I've kept building, kept growing, kept trying to do my best. But I think that it just made me realize how not codependent and how tolerant you are. It's really interesting to me. I don't think, and this is to your credit, I think I'm a good partner, but more to your credit that in the last 7 years, you've never once said to me, you don't spend enough time with me, you're never around, or you don't listen to me. And that is amazing. I think that requires so much maturity from you to be so happy in yourself and finding your own self. Because I think even though I never want you to feel those things, I feel like I'm sensitive to those things as well. I still feel like if I told you, hey, I've got to jump on a flight tomorrow, I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks, that would just be normal to you. You wouldn't ever make me feel bad or guilty about that. And so I think that it's made me appreciate you more, because we've actually been through so many of the biggest changes. There's a study that showed the changes that stress people out the most and even put stress on relationships. And it's moving countries up there, moving job is up there, moving home is up there. And then I think it's having kids. So we've literally done 3 out of the 4 constantly over the last 7 years. And the fact that we've constantly found a way to find our way back to each other and connect with each other, and had the openness to not just point the finger and blame, or I've just never felt like it's been my fault if life's been harder or easier. And so there were times when we were close to being 4 months away from being broke, and you didn't change how you felt. And now that things are better, you haven't changed towards me. And so I just feel like that kind of support is really special, where you just feel like someone's consistently in your corner. And that's how I feel with you.
Oh, thanks. I do feel those things. I think, again, it goes back to the consistency, because you're the same person. It's not been something that you didn't, it was always on the table. Change was always on the table. I think now my perspective has changed in the sense of, before I felt like I really knew where I would be living, what I would be doing. Before we got married, I had an idea of what that would be. Now I feel like I live more day to day, year to year, not even expecting what the next year is going to bring, or not allowing myself to build expectations of what the next year is going to bring, because I know that change is just always happening. And I think I used to be someone who was quite scared of change generally, and this has really helped me not be like that, because we've had so many changes that I feel like it's a better way of living, where there's no expectation of what's coming next. You just kind of live in the flow of what's happening. So yeah, I think in that respect, I think the change part for me was scary at the beginning, but became something that I was quite excited to embrace, because it kind of felt more like freedom, rather than even though when you're not in control, you feel like that wouldn't be freedom. Actually not expecting to be in control and not knowing what's going to happen feels more free than having that control, or thinking you have that control. But then also I have those times where I'm like, oh, this is great, and then the next minute I'm like, I just want to go away to a forest and do and just hide away. I feel like I go in such 2 different directions, and I feel like you deal with that really well, because I am someone who can go from being so excited about something to then being oh, I just want to delete my Instagram and go live in a forest for 6 weeks and not talk to anyone. And you're like, okay, okay, if that's what you need.
I'd love for you to do
and
that.
So, yeah, no, I know. I have quite an erraticness about me. So I feel like you handled that pretty well.
No, I think you've handled the change remarkably well. I don't know anyone else who'd be able to handle how much change we've been through.
Yeah, we've had a lot.
In the way you have. So in my book, 8 Rules of Love, I talk about how we play different roles in relationships. And if you have the book, there's a relationship roles quiz, so you can find out which role you've been playing in previous relationships or in this one. So the team have asked us to answer the question, if we're usually a parent, a partner, or a child in a relationship, where do we find those dynamics in the way we connect with each other? So where do you feel, let's start with, where do we feel we're the parents?
We're the parents.
I think you've been my parent when it comes to
food
me
and
eating
nutrition.
healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get the look. Imagine I had lots of sugar right now in front of me. Like, how would you look at me? Like, so you're the parent when it comes to my food. Because I'm the kid when it comes to food. Like, I'm the kid who wants to eat Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah.
I'm the kid who wants to eat like candy. I'm the kid who wants to eat chocolate. Like, that's all I want to do because of my mum who's sitting here as well. My mum fed me 4 chocolate products a day when I was growing up.
I love
Chocolate
that.
biscuit, chocolate yogurt, chocolate bar, chocolate ice cream. So I became addicted. And then this parent has been unlearning me from eating sugar. So yeah, that's where you're definitely.
I also
a
love
parent.
some sugar in my life.
Yeah, but you're a bit more.
Yeah.
You've had to wean me off of it. So yeah, you've been a parent when it comes to that. I've been a child.
You've definitely been a parent in, they call it like midlife crisis. I have like a weekly or monthly crisis. You're definitely the parent in that. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know whether I want to do what I'm doing right now. I don't know whether what I'm doing is the right thing. I don't know whether I love it. I don't know whether I like it. I don't know who I am. That's pretty much what happens every month. And you're definitely the parent in that situation.
Yeah.
But parent / partner, like you're not like telling me what to do. You're kind of guiding me through it. So I say you're also, I feel like you're not very parenty in many
You're
ways.
not parenting the health stuff either. Like I've always said, like I've never felt
I know what you mean.
judged and criticized or like, it's not like you're like, oh, telling me
But
off.
like guidance.
But parent is just the person who's making you, looking after you when you're being being childlike.
I definitely am that in that situation,
Yeah. I think
that and like running late for things.
Oh yeah.
And getting to places on time and making sure I like actually follow through with things, plan out my life. Yeah.
I feel like I'm a child sometimes when I'm like just literally being a child. I'm just like, love me now, like just being like a kid about like wanting attention and just being a bit moody. And
lucky you don't like throw yourself on the floor and throw a tantrum.
I'm close to it sometimes, but I'll still put that voice on sometimes, as if I am doing that. So then that's when I'm like being a child for sure. When else?
I think that's it.
That's it.
I don't think you're much of a child in that respect. Yeah. So parent and then child. Oh, we're on child now.
No, parent, child, and partner. So partners when you're like actually supporting each other.
Yeah.
And I think we do that overall. I'd say that's overall where we end up.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you've been my partner for my health. I think you've been a great partner when it comes to like encouraging me to exercise more and work out. Like when we met, I did so much for my mind, but I never exercised my body. I just played sports or I walked and I thought that was enough. And you were the one who was like training me and encouraging me and educating me. And then during the pandemic, we worked out together nearly every day, which I miss. Because then she left me to work out with people who actually know how to work out. So like with me,
what are you saying about me?
No, that's what I'm saying. As in like you were.
Oh, I left you.
You left me to work out with people who actually know how to work out.
Yeah.
Because that was you parenting me. Like you'd be like, let's work out.
This is what we do.
This is what we do. Like this is what you call a squat. Like, and then all of a sudden, now you're just at like real workout classes.
Yeah.
And I'm not allowed to come to those.
Yeah. No, you are.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to come.
No. I feel like you partner, again, just day-to-day stuff, but I definitely think you helped me to figure out my own voice through not just giving to me what I'm asking for, but to help me, see my own journey through figuring it out. And I think that takes a lot because it kind of is, it takes a lot of patience to do that. And I think it's the easier option is actually just being like, okay, here, just do this. And just, this is how you can fix this. And this is how you do this. And I'm someone who has a habit of not being certain in my own decisions. And so I think you really help to let me navigate, even though I'll be like, no, just tell me, like, what should I do? And you'll be like, no, I'm not telling you what to do. Like, I'm going to show you how you can get to the answer. You wouldn't say this, but that's how you would act. Like, I'm going to show you how to get to the answer, but I'm not going to just give it to you like that, because then you're never going to be able to do that for yourself. And so I feel like you really did guide through that as partner.
Yeah, I think a lot of the time in relationships, you make someone feel broken because you keep fixing them.
Yeah.
And if you keep fixing them, then that means they remain broken. And then whenever they feel broken, they have to run to you and depend on you. Whereas if you teach people how to heal themselves and navigate life themselves, then you've actually helped them. So I always tell people that loving someone means you make them fall more in love with themselves, not more in love with you.
And not more dependent on you.
Yeah.
That's so true, actually. And again, that takes so much more, I think that takes so much more patience to do it that way than it does to just be like, okay, fine, let me just do it for you. Like, you know, it feels like it's actually the faster option. You think you're sacrificing more by being that person that's fixing, but actually it's more of a selfish way of dealing with it. From my experience of doing it for other people around me and in other relationships around me, that you end up being someone who, actually thinking about it is probably more of a selfish thing, because it also allows you to feel more important versus letting them feel their importance and their value.
I think a lot of people love people being dependent on them.
Definitely.
Because it gives them a sense of significance.
Definitely. Especially if you don't know what you're doing in your life, or if you feel like you're a bit lost, helping other people. And although that's a great thing when you help other people, but the intention behind it and what you're receiving from it can make a huge difference in how you actually feel about it. So like if you're helping someone through intention of genuinely caring for them, genuinely helping them, or are you helping them because it fuels you into feeling valuable? And therefore, like for me, I remember it used to be just a way that I would throw myself into, so I didn't have to think about what I was doing in my life or how to figure out my own things. It was just, oh, this is great. I need to be doing this. This person needs my help. I need to like create this space for myself in their life, because then I don't have to think about all the important stuff I actually need to deal with. So it was the easier option and more of a selfish option.
Yeah,
that's very true.